YouTube. Let me bring this up here, folks. Hold on one moment. Is that gonna go up? It's not gonna go up. All right. Do it live. Oh, there we go. There we go. Do it live. You know how we do it. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Gentlemen of Crypto episode 56. 56. What's going on, Antonio? Good morning.
Oh, yeah.
Good morning. We're here on iGo Live, Facebook Live, YouTube area. We sent them an email, but we definitely owe a little personal consultation too because they weren't able to attend from the difficulties in our end. Other than that, a lot of news today. It was a crazy weekend, crazy week last week. Yes, certain altcoins are killing it. What's going on, Symmetry, Bitcoin, Hippie?
Yeah.
Look, everybody's in the house. I love it.
Yeah. Pay attention to the altcoins that are killing it when Bitcoin is going up too, or going down. Sorry, if Bitcoin is going down and it's still killing it, yeah, you probably wouldn't hold that. Right.
Mm-hmm. Somebody made a good observation the other day too. For those, you got to really think of it like this: if you are buying altcoins, technically you are shorting Bitcoin. I mean, you're taking money away from Bitcoin, so you're shorting it. So keep that in mind when Bitcoin goes on these pumps like it did Sunday morning. I think it went up to $12,700, what I saw for a moment. But the altcoins started dipping down when it happened. So just keep that in mind. But other than that, let's get into this top news to start off the day with a smile. We have a new dinosaur of the day today, and that is billionaire investor Carl, was it Icahn? He basically jumped out and said Bitcoin's in the bubble like everybody else. He founded the Icahn Enterprises. He was on CNBC. Of course, CNBC is taking that lead role in the crypto space in the mainstream. And his words were, and I quote, "It seems like a bubble," and that he didn't understand the hype around it. He said, "I gotta tell you honestly, I don't understand it. I just don't get it, and I just stay out of something if I don't understand it."
Then stay out of it. Like we
he compared the Bitcoin market to the 18th century Mississippi land bubble before it finally collapsed.
I mean, every bubble so far I feel like has been compared. I mean, Tula bubble, the Mississippi bubble, people are making up the Beanie Baby bubble. I mean, Jesus, Carl, wasn't it Carl? I can't. What are you talking about? I don't understand. Hey, what's going on, Crypto Jack? I don't understand how someone could come out and say I don't really get it, but nah, it's not gonna work. So I mean,
well, and that's the crazy thing. It's like you're saying that you're admitting that you don't understand it. You're calling it a bubble, but instead of trying to learn about it and figure it out and get some knowledge on it, instead you're just closing your eyes like, well, no, this doesn't exist over here, people. This is fake. I don't believe it. Let's keep moving without it. So
yeah, like I said, Carl, I can't invest properly in Bitcoin, so I'm not gonna mess with it. What's going on, Joshua? Stephanie, thanks for joining us.
So we said last week, people advanced into some dinosaur sounds. I still got to review those and find one of those. But we're going to get some dinosaur of the day sounds. But
we got a whole Jurassic Park by now.
We got a whole
list. Should list everybody by now.
Yeah, we'll put it on our website, list all the dinosaurs. Yeah, we're going to do that when they list all the dinosaurs we named and why.
Get somebody to Photoshop their face on some brontosaurus.
Right. Right. But officially, billionaire investor Carl Icahn, or Icahn, I don't care what your name is. You are our dinosaur of the day.
Oh yeah.
What else going on? So we got UK Treasury. What's going on with them?
Oh man. Well, they as a whole may get Dino of the day on top of Carl Icahn because they are looking to regulate all cryptocurrencies and I guess make up laws in order to stop, which is always their thing. People, please don't be fooled. Every time they bring up, we're trying to stop money laundering, we're trying to stop the flow of illegal funds or whatnot. At this point, they can't. That's what people need to realize. If you start off with, okay, they can't regulate it, then when they bring it out, what are they really trying to do? They're going to punish the regular people.
That's what they always do.
With taxes. It's not going to be the criminals who get, in trouble because they always find a way. If somebody wants to do something illegal, they're going to find a way. So when people say they want to regulate, or when the Treasury of UK, they've stated they wanted to regulate cryptocurrencies, much like China and Russia, you got to remember, they've used the same thing to pass the Patriot Act. Like, oh, you're in danger, so let us pass this. And, oh, this could happen to you, so let us pass this. Every time there is anything that they can use as a way as fear, like these criminals could get out of hand, they try and regulate it. So, and it's always under the guise of protecting us. And I think people are getting closer to a point where they're like, we don't care for or want your protection. So the UK Treasury regulating cryptocurrencies, like we always say to everybody, good luck. Have a good time writing up that that paperwork because as some people can already attest to, like even the Fed chair even stated, I'm glad I'm not in a position to have to regulate them right now. It's 5 to 10 years off because honestly, I don't know what to do. So,
well, and then even bigger, I feel like now internationally, governments are basically saying criminals are smarter than them. So there's a new technology that seems to be working quite well that our governments wasn't on top of, and now the criminals, as they say, are. So you're basically telling me the criminals have a 8 to 9 year jump on you, and not only that, they're doing things in which you can't stop or regulate. Like you said, you want to go after regular people now, but again, if governments are still saying criminals are using Bitcoin, they're already lost people. Criminals are using Monero and Zcash, all right? Like
criminals are using cash.
They're using Cloak. Yeah, they're using USD and euros. So again,
exit all markets. Everybody stop using money. Period. We're just gonna barter.
Right. Let's see what else we have. Oh, here was a great story I saw. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his name. His name is Nicholas. Last name P something. He's a global market strategist for JP Morgan. But they said that the Bitcoin futures could give move to legitimacy to Bitcoin. He wrote this to his investors, and he said the launch of Bitcoin futures contracts established by exchanges in particular has potential to add legitimacy and thus increase the appeal of crypto, both to retail and institutional investors. JP Morgan, is he going to get fired for that?
Yeah.
I mean,
fire yourself, because he just endorsed Bitcoin, basically. But that is funny to use that word, legitimate, as if before they said anything, it wasn't legitimate. It wasn't real. It didn't exist. And then the audacity of these bankers to say, well, now we say it's legitimate, and now people gonna come in. So yeah, it's just
it's gonna come
180.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where these roads lead, because you're literally, like, as citizens, we're seeing the hypocrisy in our face. Where one minute they're regulating it, they're trying to tax it, they're throwing people in jail. But for bankers and other politicians who have their finger in it, when it's time for them, then they're okay.
A little baby slap on the wrist.
If that, they might get the fine. So again, people, this is why we say, we're not saying break the law or whatever. We are saying to just mute out the government a little bit and these bankers and some of these politicians, because they are clearly, like, they're literally lying to you. We've started a show a few months ago, and just in this short amount of time, we've been public speaking about it. You've seen the 180s. I mean, you've seen them say, well, this is going to be illegal, this is that, and then, oh, well, this is going to happen. And again, I keep telling people, February is expect new guidance. Expect new guidance by then from everyone.
And JP Morgan went from anybody who trades it is an idiot and they're going to be fired, all the way to, oh, it may be legitimate because now CBOE, CME, NASDAQ. What's up, Chase that coin? All these people have made it legitimate. But, if you followed us long enough, like King said, we've been telling you about these people for a while. They just say what they need to say to get off stage or get off the mic so they don't, basically get embarrassed. But, just stay vigilant.
Ivan Ashley asked, do we use the Fibonacci extension? How do we predict or ladder ourselves?
Yes.
Bitcoin is
when trading with technical analysis, you want to make sure you're following the trend. Down, go from up to down, and up to down. I can't really explain it talking about it, but yes, look into Fibonacci. Actually look into studying. Investopedia is a good resource. YouTube has thousands of more videos than when I first started. So getting into trading now won't take that barrier of entry like it did with some people. So yes, very, very useful to see different levels of where support and resistance are. Also, I will say with Fibonacci, as far as trying to predict price points or where we'll go, do not try and predict a top on Bitcoin.
Yeah, we keep telling you stop trying to predict the tops.
It's almost a foregone conclusion that nobody knows what the hell they're talking about when it comes to Bitcoin. You can do all the TA, you can do all fundamental, and even this weekend we saw it. That UK news that we just stated came out, and literally it dropped in 30 minutes. It dropped like, I don't know, $600, just like that.
Which is crazy because, again, people are like, they're falling for the same old tricks. If the government comes out and say they're going to regulate, do this, make it illegal, buy more. Yeah. Buy more. Think of it like this. How has, just looking at the United States and some of our wars, how has the war on drugs been going? How has the war on poverty been going? Even though technically we never had that. But you get what I'm saying? Like, we get all these cases, we get all excited, we call things wars, we regulate it, we ban it, we try to do it with alcohol. Hell, marijuana and cannabis is legal now throughout the United States in some places.
They lost that war.
if the fact that people still freak out with mainstream news and what the government says, you have to remember the government works for us. If you want this stuff to become legal, if you want it to become widespread and mainstream, all you have to do is start writing more letters to your mayor, Congress, governor, king, parliament, wherever city, country, state that you're in. But don't look at the news story and say, well, I'm going to sell, because there's people like us that's going to rebuy.
Oh, yeah.
And then that's gone because it's not getting back out.
And that's a big difference between these bubbles. People say like the Mississippi bubble, the Tula bubble, whatever bubble people bring up, is they don't factor in the fact that there are literally thousands of people, hundreds of thousands at this point, who are waiting for the dip. We have a whole saying called "buy the dip." You have all these people. Some people don't, really get how to, catch an actual dip. Some people are trying to catch the falling knife. But most of these traders that have been in it, they see, all right, like we just stated with Fibonacci levels. Look, this is good support. This is good, a good spot to buy back in. These bubbles, people were basically doing naked longs, like, it's just gonna keep going up. I'm not gonna say stop. Who cares? Just gonna keep going. With Bitcoin, it's way more vigilant, and people are definitely looking towards the future use of it. So buying dips is essential. I mean, we still haven't hit the bubble phase, like straight parabolic. Every day you wake up, it's up another $1,000. I haven't seen that yet. That's when you.
That's coming next, though.
When we hit the 1 trillion mark and people start saying legitimate, or stop saying legitimate because it'll just be legitimate. And I won't have a red squiggly line under cryptocurrency on Microsoft Word. Like it'll be so legit, it'll be so mainstream. It'll be so mainstream by that point. That's when I think that bubble will kick in. But right now, 0.3 trillion, no.
My iPhone is starting to capitalize Bitcoin when I type it in, so I give them props.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of all this bubble and tops and all this good stuff, Bitcoin is now the 6th most circulated currency in the world. Talk about illegitimate if you want. Yeah. Behind, of course, the 5 superpowers, but it's outranking the pound, the ruble, and the yuan, according to the Bank for International Settlements. They said this figure is based on Bitcoin at $10,765 each. Which puts it at about $180 billion in circulation. So basically, once it hits 15K, it's going to It's going to overcome a couple more. I think the next one is the rupee, and the only 4 that's above is the yen, yuan, euro, and the dollar.
And how long have those been around?
Right. So you're telling me in almost 9 years. Yeah. In 9 years, we're in the final 4.
Yep.
And we out here shooting like Curry. That's all I'm saying.
Hey. There's more people coming. And we've stated before, this is really just the beginning of the next early adopter phase, because we're at the edge of the innovator and early investors. But once the early mainstream comes, that price is definitely going to be a lot different from where it is today. Because when people, like somebody just stated, it'll be hard to think about 1 trillion. Man, it was hard to think about 1 billion back in the day. I mean, 100 billion. I mean, you got to think people were, like myself, were buying into it where, $1,000 was like the goal, and 10,000 was like in the future. So now we're here, and it only took, a few years rather than, 2020 like some people predicted. Even McAfee thought it would be at 5,000 this year. He had to change his whole prediction because it actually blew past that faster than he thought. So in my opinion, also, too, don't look at the price as much. Look at the growth of the actual market cap and the volume coming into it, because there's a correlation between Google searches, there's a correlation between Coinbase accounts created, there's a correlation between increase in transactions. All that stuff actually correlates with the Bitcoin chart, because nobody wants to short Bitcoin to 0. So you have to remember that. So people that are shorting, it's short-term shorts to get more Bitcoin, just for it to go right back up. So
it looks like Ivan actually said I think he said these crazy runs is messing with his head and his sleeping pattern. Listen, this is why I tell people all the time, we lose track of days, time, always. Because,
I don't even know what today is.
Yeah, I mean, when you get in that trading mode, especially when it's going good, you just lock in. Next thing you know, it's like 72 hours later.
Yeah.
But yeah. So some other good stuff is going on with Bitcoin. The Chicago Board of Options and Exchange has announced that its planned Bitcoin futures will begin on December 10th.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, it is coming.
Yep.
Again, I want to hit on, and somebody asked us this over the weekend, I think via our Twitter account, so we'll make sure we talk about this. We mentioned last week, which we've been mentioning for months now, we've been telling people actually since last year about the debt ceiling, which is the decision supposed to be December 8th. Again, a Friday, people. pay attention. Why would you talk about the debt ceiling on a Friday?
Yeah.
Come on.
Don't start partying too early on Friday.
Yeah, it's obvious the way.
Trying to sneak it in there.
Yeah, they like sneaking it. So if you remember the last time we were supposed to have this decision was actually around the same time, I think October 8th, around those dates. But it was another Friday. They were supposed to make a final decision on the debt ceiling. If you don't know, the United States debt ceiling is the highest, or our debt is as high as it's ever been, at plus $21 trillion. For those who don't know the debt ceiling, as I'll briefly describe, it's basically like your credit card limit. Let's say your credit card limit is $15K, right? Not only have you got close to it, but you've went over a few times. Now you're talking to your credit card company, and there's different options. You could get rid of the debt ceiling, which President Trump already hinted toward, which means you just call your credit card company up and say, you know what, take the limit off. Don't even worry about the limit anymore.
Yeah.
And your credit card company is going to say, well, no, there's a limit. You're just going to say, well, we're going to act like it's not anyway. And we're going to keep spending.
Yeah, we're just going to keep spending.
So that's getting
And then when they come to collect their money, you put AK-47 in their face. That's basically what it is. Like, oh, you want your money back? That it ain't happening. So that's basically what we doing.
So that's one thing. President Trump discussed getting rid of it. People are talking about raising the ceiling, which of course is like, okay, well, my limit's $15K. Can we raise it to $20K? However, the problem with that is we are at our highest debt in national history, like plus 21 trillion. So that's like you haven't paid your credit card back in the last 20 years, and you're still saying, well, let's just raise it one more good time for good time's sake.
Yeah, good time's sake. Yeah.
Again, that's pretty ridiculous. And then the third one is that we default on it, which, you know what, as bad as it sounds and as bad it would be for the economy, I'm actually for that third option of defaulting. And the reason why is because we need to rip this Band-Aid off, people.
Yeah.
We're in debt. Many countries are in debt, but, speaking from the United States, we're in debt. We've been in debt. Whatever we're doing has not been working. So let's rip the Band-Aid off. Let's default and say, yeah, we about to be broke. It's time for a depression for a while because we owe money. But regardless of what decision the United States chooses, the reason why we've been saying that this is going to affect the price of Bitcoin, which at first used to just be an educated guess, but now it's clear that it's the truth because CME, CBOE, and all these futures are all literally starting to trade 2 to 3 days a week after this decision is supposed to be made in December. So that means we're not going crazy this last year.
Yeah.
We've been on the spot with this educated guess.
They know something.
They know something. We called it early, but we weren't sure. But the fact that futures trading is trying to start literally 48 to 72 hours after the decision is telling us everything we need to know. So somebody was asking, how does this affect Bitcoin? Well, it affects Bitcoin because regardless of what happens, the United States owes money, right? We're going up for this debt ceiling thing. In 2013, the same thing happened. The government shut down, sequestration, furloughs. Literally, government workers weren't working. The only people who continued to get paid was the military. I remember this. There was no deployments going on. Everyone was sitting still. The problem with all of this is that it diminishes the faith in the dollar, like severely, especially when we decide to default on it, which means we're not going to, we don't have the money to pay it back. Yeah. That's coming out saying it. If that happens, then the faith that all these other countries have and that backs the dollar, the government that backs the dollar, it is going to be severely diminished this go round. And when that happens, where else would you put your money? It used to be gold. Now people are starting to see the gold market has been, tricked and, it's manufactured as well. Yeah. So crypto is the only reasonable place to go, which is why we have been waiting for first October 8th since January of this year. And now we've been waiting for December since October.
Oh yeah. And I was gonna say with hedging your money before 08, you didn't really have a choice. And for all my people who are into the gold, I was just about to say gold is manipulated.
That's where I said manufactured.
Even people that are in the real estate market, I just talked to an old friend that I used to work with at a real estate law firm. He said this is one of the last 18 months he's started to see 0% interest loans for houses for people who are barely qualified, 500 credit scores. He said last time he saw that was in 07, and we all know what happened right after that. Also, this is the longest time we went without a correction in the stock market, people, since the Great Depression, even longer than in 08. So you have to think all these signs. It's just like if you were trading. If you have 5 indicators that show you to make a move and all 5 are blinking off the screen, I'm pretty sure you're gonna make that move. And that's literally almost what we have here is, okay, something's going on, something's wrong. We need a reset, and whenever it happens, we have the backup option now. So that's the good thing.
And one thing is Bitcoin's has hit on. He always hits on it. People really think about that. We haven't had a correction, right? that's like saying Bitcoin, and while they've been many dips, if you know, once you look at the long-term trend, like some people do freak out in between, Bitcoin at least corrects, right? It's healthy. A correction is always healthy. The market, the United States stock market has not had that in a decade.
A 10% correction.
Like it has not had it. So Bitcoin's at 11K without a United States correction. Let's say it doesn't happen this year. Let's say it takes another 2. Let's say we hit an all-time record of 14 years straight, right? Regardless, whenever that correction comes, and it will come, it has to come as a healthy part of any type of market. When it comes, crypto is going to really explode. So our thing is, we think, you know, with December 8th, this Friday, and like I said, going back to October, whenever it was, I think it was like October 8th, that Friday or Thursday night, they literally pushed the debt ceiling decision to December 3 months later. They did it at nighttime, people. Like, you know what I mean? The government's not even supposed to be working. But which is why December 8th, again, is a Friday night. They're going to be reviewing everything and making a decision. And regardless of what happens, it's already bad news. Because if it wasn't bad, they wouldn't push it from October. They would have already made their decision. But they pushed it. Here we are. And you know, it's unfortunate because if it is bad and people do lose faith and doubt, then definitely markets will not do well. However, the crypto market will. So if you jumped over on this side, you're good to go.
I mean, these are some of the same people who wrote and penned on a tax bill. I mean, just to get it through at a certain time. So you got to remember, these people, they got their ways, they do what they have to do. But just look out for that, going forward. So in other news, and another government who does not know how to manage their funds, I mean, this is becoming a trend, people. Facing hyperinflation, Venezuela is to issue an oil-backed cryptocurrency called the petrodollar. Oh, didn't see this coming.
Right? Yeah, how long ago did we call it?
This for years.
This is the same Venezuela, though. Just so people know, this is the same Venezuela that is imprisoning traders and anybody buying Bitcoin, and even going as far as executing some that's in the Bitcoin market, like literally killing people for trying to buy, sell, and trade Bitcoin. Now they want to make their own crypto. Are you seeing the trend here, people? Like, I mean, really, United States and with the UK, the only thing they're doing different is not killing people. They're still locking people up, and they're still trying
to force regulation.
Force regulation, false stories about people, and making up rules and scary stories so the public will be behind them when they do this. But I mean, the only difference in Venezuela is that they actually went to that next level of giving people life in prison and killing them. But expect to see this. Russia's trying to do the same thing. They want to do their crypto ruble now. I mean, I'll give the United States the next year before we have our Fed dollar or Fed coin, whatever they were talking about.
Or whatever the IMF or whoever there was, they were talking about the SDR or whatever. Yeah, we'll see. And I think, like we've said before, it's a bigger picture at play. It's bigger than cryptocurrency. Huge. It's bigger than money. It's an actual change in the way people are thinking.
Decentralized versus centralized.
People are already coming up with sovereign states. Like Liberland came out in 2014. Your boy Roger Ver wants to have a Bcash island or whatever you want to do, Utopia. I'm telling you, it's going to get to a point where these crypto communities are going to stop being in different countries, and they're going to say, oh, well, this country, because whichever country does this, I can already predict in the next few years, that any country or any of the countries that decide, yes, if you have Bitcoin, come to us, they're going to take over the countries that don't, because all the smart people and developers and all these people around the world who actually want to use Bitcoin they will go there. There is no barrier to get there now, especially, you know, we have enough transportation, but people will use it. Also, people will definitely start registering businesses outside the country as they already have, you know, started.
Crypto Q called a joke. Bcash Island. Well, no, so, I mean, in addition with that, so first I want to definitely hit on something, you know, give ourselves another pat on the back. I said it earlier this year, as Bitcoin says that as well, but we started telling people, actually it was last year we were telling people this. We were telling people last year that the Winklevoss twins will one day, I gave it about 5 years. I said in about 5 to 7 years, the Winklevoss twins will be worth more than Mark Zuckerberg, and I can't wait until they face off again. For those who don't know, the Winklevoss twins were the ones who allegedly created Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg came through and he said, I know I look little, but he said, I know I look little, but I'm not scared of strong arm. And he allegedly took Facebook off their hands from them, and they won a lawsuit for like 60 million plus or something like that. But you know, one of the things we have been telling people is like the Winklevoss twins bought into Bitcoin early. Exactly. And a news story just came out and it said the Winklevoss twins are the first legitimate Bitcoin billionaires. Again, 5 to 7 years, they will be worth more than Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to be at that conference or that meeting when they be like, "Oh, you thought this was over, homie? You thought, we got plenty of good ideas."
Yeah. And I mean, even Mark Cuban said the first trillionaire is gonna come out of crypto, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's Winklevoss twins, and that would be crazy.
Costco pizza.
I mean, hey, people always say.
After Satoshi, obviously. Yeah.
Oh yeah. What goes around comes around, and it would be crazy if because think about it. When Facebook came out, it was almost like, hey, there's nothing they could do to pass Facebook until there is, and that's why you see the panic from a lot of these big name people is in their mind. They're like, there's nothing that could beat this. We got everything locked down everywhere until there is something, and you don't have a plan to do it. Because I mean, how much bigger can Facebook get? I mean, my grandma's on Facebook. My great grandma's on Facebook. Like, what? How much bigger can it really get? And plus, people are starting to leave Facebook. A lot of millennials are getting,
it's too.
They're like, whatever, man. Facebook, who cares? So, going into the future, I would not be surprised if they are the first crypto trillionaires, already billionaires, and they'll
be the first ones long term.
Yeah, I mean, my great grandma had. Come on, man. Like, Facebook is getting to a point now. Is as soon as my mom got one, I stopped using it, but as much. But it's one of those things that technology changes, things change, and I'm pretty sure Facebook can't implement cryptocurrency into their current platform. They would have to change, or adjust to the Winklevoss type of business. So.
And again, you talk about the private, whether it's a private island, private country people. If we're just talking, we don't have to just talk crypto, But you talk about the top 5 or 10 billionaires. Again, to me, their vision hasn't been big enough. You talk about Bill Gates, even Bezos right now. To me, their vision hasn't been big enough because right now they have enough money to start their own country. They have enough money to buy an army, a train an army, a navy, and all that stuff. And they haven't done it. But if I was in that top 10 with these other multi-billionaires and we own like 90% of the world's financial wealth, I'm like, let's just start another country.
Yeah.
What are we doing right now?
What are we doing? Yeah.
So
get somebody to back us up.
Again, you got people like us coming. There's gonna be some problems.
Yeah.
What else we have in news? Also, great story. You know what? I definitely want to give them props. We both do. Ethereum founder Vitalik Buterin was one of Bloomberg's top 50 most influential people. For those who don't know, Vitalik Buterin, he made the platform Ethereum when he was 19 or something.
I think 17.
17 years old, he made Ethereum. He's 23 now, and he's one of Bloomberg's top 50 most influential people in the world. So, I mean,
it's crazy because the #1 decentralized app on Ethereum is CryptoKitties, which
I've been seeing this pop up.
It's amazing.
It's like a new Tamagotchi for digital world.
I'm telling you, it's amazing how ideas, all this super technical build, smart contracts, build, everybody's trying to build the next whatever, and somebody said, you know what, people like kittens.
Just keep it simple.
Let's keep it simple. Let's just pay me Ethereum. I think somebody paid 246 Ethereum for a digital kitten.
That's when somebody was like, somebody said, now we're at the top. But no, we're not. This is the beauty of it.
Crypto kittens.
Is that you can do what you want. Yeah, crypto kittens.
Yeah, and every time I think of kittens, I think of that Patrice O'Neal skit. It's like, there's a pencil in my face. But, I mean, the Tamagotchi wave was huge.
Tamagotchi was huge. I used to have it. Everybody had a Tamagotchi.
I gotta feed my, whatever.
For those who don't know, Tamagotchi is like a little keychain.
Might be showing our age.
Yeah, right. We're definitely showing our age. It was a keychain pet in the 90s. I think Japan made it. And it was like a digital, it was like a digital cat or some digital dog, and you had to feed it and walk in. People be in school with their Tamagotchi on it.
Yeah, you'd be like, my cat's stronger.
Yeah, you get it strong and stuff. So
and it was really big in Japan. Still big. I mean,
Katrina, Diary Katrina said, "Wow." Yeah. You remember Katrina? Listen, we are dating our age for real now.
Yeah, we had a lot of dumb stuff back. I mean, but that's the thing about markets.
Dimitri said that
people say Bitcoin is dumb. It's a pyramid scheme, but if the market chooses it, people were buying pet rocks, people, back in the day.
$1 million.
Beanie Babies.
Babies.
It's some dude right now with 10,000 Beanie Babies still think he gonna sell them on eBay for a profit in the future. I promise you.
Yeah, that is
so
true.
People buy dumb stuff. It's just when you have the type of technology that can push out that quote unquote dumb stuff.
Global crowd now.
Yeah, the market chooses who they want. And if somebody wants to buy it.
I mean, listen, people, I would say in another 3 to 5 years, $1 million is gonna be nothing. It's going to be one of those things. If you can't make $1 million from the internet in 3 to 5 years, I'm telling you, people, because you have to remember, we now have a global, for whatever you do, you have not only a global audience, but you have a global payment system.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, you're talking about, and that's why I keep saying the 1%. No matter what your industry is, no matter what you do, you could be a fitness expert, I don't know, a cook, call center person, doesn't matter. Just aim to get 1% of the world population. You now have the ability to market to them and get paid by them.
Oh yeah,
and it's incredible. So,
and I will say with the price of Bitcoin, you know, going towards the future and what's going to happen. For those of you who think, you know, it's comparable to the internet, you got to remember, you could ignore the internet if you had a business. If you didn't like it, you know, everybody has that uncle or grandpa who's like, I'm not using the internet. You can't ignore your own money. And that's what we're trying to explain is you can't ignore this, you know, this wave right here, because once it affects how you pay, how you make money, and how you invest and all that stuff, once it starts changing, you're going to have to learn about it. So you might as well know it now and be one of the first people, like I said, before the mainstream flood comes in starting next year. And what's up, Aaron? Thanks for joining. You want to make sure you get in there before then. So, yeah.
And last thing is I did want to hit this on, you know, when it came to Vitalik Buterin and his top 50. You know, once again, people, you have to retrain that mind frame. There's literally about and Bitcoin's they say it's about to be 15, 16-year-old multimillionaires, like the .com boom, but it's going to be younger people, a little bit wilder and even smarter. So,
yep.
I mean, it's going to get to the point where you're going to have to start listening to that 16, 17-year-old and take crypto advice from them because they might know a lot more than you at the time or even us. So,
oh yeah. Absolutely.
Last thoughts, I saw somebody ask about Civic. So yeah, I know Civic, RSK got their thing coming out finally, and Civic is supposedly a platform that people gotta be careful though, because a lot of these are starting to become rumors popping on and up off Telegram for the pumps.
Yeah.
So that maybe is going. I don't know. Civic's good. We like Civic in general. Just Benny's a strange one there.
Yeah, he just got to stop tweeting. Yeah, he'll be all right.
Let's see.
But
who else we got?
I think that's all today.
Oh, you said the Internet 5. Okay, I got your crypto Q. I wasn't sure you something about. All right, for the free Bitcoin day, what we doing?
Well, Time Magazine just came out with a list of people that they're going to put for most influential people of the year. If we had one for crypto, who do you think is the most influential person or persons, group of people this year, 2017? Who helped push the crypto culture forward?
Let's do top three.
Top three, yeah. Let's do top three. I already know one of them's got to be Andres Antonopoulos. If that ain't your top three,
right?
Go watch him. For anybody who's new, Andres Antonopoulos. I'm gonna type it in here because somebody else mentioned it on Twitter. They were saying how they haven't met a person who's watched his videos and not bought Bitcoin. I mean, Andres is definitely in the streets. Everywhere he talks to, you know. Somebody
said, you know, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I want to cut you off.
Yeah, I was gonna say he talks to everybody from politicians to regular people to coders to investors. Everybody. Yeah, Novogratz is a good one. But
somebody's made a great point. They said James Solent said Jamie Dimon. You're right though, kind of, because Jamie Dimon did have a lot of people say, wait, what's the fraud? Wait, what is it? I don't know what Bitcoin is before you said it, Jamie.
Oh yeah, he got all the old and crusties off the couch. It was like, oh, so what is this thing? You know?
Right.
But put your public address. We'll send that free Bitcoin to you. And like we said, just 3. We only need 3.
Somebody said the time cover would be Roger Ver flipping everybody off. I would buy that cover for $1,000.
Oh yeah, I get that frame. Oh yeah.
Hey, there we go, Zane King. There we go. Thanks, Dimitri. Shout out. Hey, we'll come in 2018, 2019 for that cover.
Oh yeah.
We coming up. All right. Other than that, you got anything else?
It's all for me, brother.
Hey, thanks for joining us again, people. We definitely appreciate the ongoing support as we grow and you grow with us, vice versa. We will see you all tomorrow. Until then, if this video helped you, if you liked it, thumbs up, share it, all that good stuff. And until then, cheers.
Have a good one.
Boom. Stare at you all for 2 more seconds.